welcome to Friendship and Joy with just me, Karen, today. Obviously, Suzanne is not here. Feels very lonely, but I just wanted to film a little update and let you know what has been happening since our last episode. Suzanne and I were busy pretty much all fall to pre-record a whole bunch of episodes. So the latest episode, that's called Farewell Karen, was filmed just before I left to go to Florida on January 12. So I went down to Florida and had a wonderful, wonderful time with back-to-back friends coming to visit, house guests. My husband was going back and forth, and we had a beautiful beginning of our stay down there. And then things changed, obviously. On the day that Suzanne was supposed to come and visit me down in Florida, which was March 13, she was supposed to come down with another friend of ours, Annika. And as I was about to leave to go to the airport to pick them up, I checked to see, and I realized that the flight was delayed. So they hadn't even left Toronto yet. And not shortly after that, I get a phone call from Suzanne. She was very upset, saying, "Karen, we're not going to come." And I was in shock. And I said, "What do you mean you're not going to come? What's going on? Is everything okay?" And she goes, "No, they've just gone out with this travel advisory, and they're telling us if we leave now, we may not be able to come home." And I couldn't believe it. Down in Florida, everything seemed to be... Everybody was talking about the COVID-19 virus, but there didn't seem to be much panic yet. So I was upset and disappointed, of course. We've been so looking forward to this visit down there. Suzanne comes down every year, and we always have such a wonderful time. And we had planned to do, vlogging and going to see yarn stores and just sit on the balcony and knit and talk and have very upbeat, fun episodes. And now she wasn't going to come. And then day by day, the news gets scarier and scarier, and the facts change day by day. And I'm starting to realize that my husband can't come and visit me either. He was supposed to come right after Annika and Suzanne. And I wasn't planning on coming home until end of April, beginning of May. And I realized that if I don't go home now, I might have to stay. I don't know if I can go home later. I don't know anything. And I also found out that our health insurance that we have when we are down there won't cover any coronavirus related issues. So it became quite obvious that I needed to come home. As the days went by, at first we played it a little cool. We say wait and see, and then it became more and more a question of, can I even come home? And the kind of panic sets in, and I tried my best not to. I ended up being on my own for 13 days and before I flew home. So I knew that I wasn't gonna have any virus because if I had already been alone for 13 days. But to be alone when there's so much uncertainty and people are getting really sick and you don't know what's going on in the world, it is scary to be completely alone, especially when you have family that you want nothing more to get home to. So last night, today's date is I'm getting my days mixed up. So today is March 23rd, and I flew home. Luckily, I got a flight and I flew home yesterday. And after 13 days, pretty much to myself, indoors or sitting on the balcony or going for quick walks and then going back home, being around a lot of people in the airport was scary. I've never been one to suffer from being paranoid about germs. I've never been a germaphobe, but I was a germaphobe. I was so careful not to touch anything. And I couldn't find, before I flew home, I tried to find a face mask and hand sanitizer, and there was anywhere in sight. I couldn't find it anywhere. I knocked on the door to my neighbors asking if they needed any of my food. There was no point for me to keep anything there, because since I don't know when I can go back down. So I gave all my perishables, all my frozen foods, some dry goods, and even some toilet paper to my neighbor, who was overjoyed with that. And because she said that she had recently gone out and even regular food started to become a little scarce. So she was happy to take that, and in return she gave me a little bottle of gold. She gave me a bottle of hand sanitizer, which really came in handy. I kept doing, I was a little paranoid, but it helped, and I made it home safe and sound. I sat beside a lady on the plane who was equally paranoid, so we were both wiping everything down and washing our hands and doing our best to not touch anything. At one moment, I was eating a chicken wrap and I accidentally put my finger in my mouth, and I felt like, ugh, gross. Oh, what have I done? I committed suicide. No, anyways, I shouldn't be joking about this, but if I don't joke, I'm going crazy. So bear with me if I'm a little cuckoo. I've been alone for 13 days already, and I now, of course, I'm facing the obligatory 14 days quarantine at home. My husband is not here with me. He's staying with friends that he's been seeing every day and helping and going over to their place anyways, pretty much every day since before all of this took place. So it's better that he stays with them while I'm in quarantine. Of course, my daughter cannot come over to see me, and after these 14 days I can probably see them again, but we have to be careful about this social distancing. We take this very seriously. My husband, instead of staying away from me 6 feet, he stayed away probably 12 feet. We walked around the car like this, and he even put a plastic sheet divider in the car. He was driving, and I had to sit in the back seat like little Miss Daisy and talk through this plastic divider. Yeah, it's like driving Miss Daisy and the apocalypse all in one. So I had to sit behind that plastic divider in the car. So we didn't even, no hugs, no kisses, no even getting close. So I'm gonna just do my part and stay indoors and look out for signs. I don't think I'm sick. I don't think I caught the virus anywhere, but we all have to do our part, and we have to practice social distancing. It's important. And I kind of see it as we have all sacrificed during this. We have all given things up that we wanted to do. And some people are worried for the future, and rightfully so. This is unknown for all of us. We don't know how long this will last. We don't know how bad it's going to get. But if the experts say that this might be a way to slow things down, I think we need to listen to what the experts have to say. And we have to all sacrifice. We all have to do our part to get through this together. The more we learn, the more we know. I also know that different countries take different approach in Britain, and they don't necessarily hunker down the way we've done here in North America, but it's and even in North America, I heard even in Miami, they were not closing everything down the way they did in Fort Lauderdale. So, but who am I to say, who am I to know? I just listen to the expert for the moment, and if this is what I can do to do my part and help out, then so be it. 14 days alone, I can do it. I've been through tougher stuff than this in the past, actually. And I guess now it's just taking it day by day, and hopefully I won't develop a cough or fever or anything. I hope everyone out there is also staying healthy, and if we have to stay indoors for a little bit, and if we have to not see our friends and loved ones and family, then so be it. We have to all do our part. Having said that, let's talk about something a little bit more fun. Let's talk about knitting. I knitted a lot when I was down in Florida. There's nothing better than getting up in the morning, take my morning coffee, sit on the balcony and get a little bit of knitting in before it gets too hot, before going to the beach or the pool or whatever. So my little scarf that we're working on before I left is finished. I kind of ran out of yarn, so it's not as big as the pattern called for, but it's a wonderful little shawl. You can wear it like a shawl like this. Let's see if I can. Shawl like this, like so, or it makes a really cozy little scarf around your neck like this. It looks really nice. I love it. Like the colors. Very nice. So this is the brioche shawl that I worked on that has a little bit of garter stitch, a little bit of brioche. It was a great, easy project. Once you get the hang of the brioche, you realize that it's not hard and it's an easy one, so you can still talk and socialize. My next project is this. I don't have a good picture of it, but it's this little summer top that I made. I knitted it. I didn't have a pattern for that one. It is those silk yarns that I found at Sopper Creek Yarn, and I just knitted it in plain stockinette stitch. It's a raglan sleeve, top down. I just did my increases until it was time to divide for the arm, and it was a nice little boxy top. The next thing I did was I just went to Michael's and I picked up, because I couldn't go to any good stores, I was waiting for Suzanne. I just picked up some Lion Brand yarn. It's not yarns I usually knit with, because they're I think they're all acrylic, or it's not, I prefer like proper wool yarn. But I picked this up and I knitted a really nice sweater. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like this. The pattern is, it's a boxy little sweater. It is actually called Super Simple Summer Sweater, I think, I forget. But I picked up fall colors, so I thought that would look pretty good. So I'm gonna try that on and see. It's hard to see, but yeah, it turned out to be a nice little, maybe if I stand back a little bit you can see it, but yeah, it turned out to be a nice, it's a cropped little boxy sweater, and it was actually super simple to knit, just going around and round. So I really enjoyed knitting that one. And then when my husband came down, I had ordered some yarn before I left that came after I had gone down to Florida. And so my husband brought that when he came back, and it was this little sweater vest I knitted. I have shown this vest before. I've made one, I've worn, this is actually my fourth, I think, in this particular pattern. I love this pattern so much. The vest is called Ivy League by, I forget the name of her. I should have looked that up before I started this. I wanted to make one with a simplified color design on it. So the actual vest part, the shape and model of the vest, is her design, and then I just came up, I made on my little program that's called Stitch Fiddle, I came up with a simpler color pattern to make. So it wasn't too, I wanted something simple that I didn't have to count too much, and I didn't want to have to wrap the yarns too much. So there's no bigger repeats than 3 here. It's just a very simple repeat pattern. So I thought that turned out pretty nice. Nice little sweater vest. It looks good with jeans and a white shirt. Love, love, love that. And now I am busy knitting a cardigan for my daughter. And it is knitted in a cotton linen yarn, and it's still on the needle right now, so it's hard to show what it's gonna look like, but it's just knitted in, it's just a bunch of it's knitted in moss stitch back and forth on long needles, and it's going to be a cardigan. It doesn't look like much right now, but I'm sure it will be fine when it's all finished. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of that update. And in times like this, when I have to sit indoors, I have to stay here by myself, I would have gone completely nuts if I didn't have my knitting. This morning, even I got up, had my coffee, went downstairs and worked out. I am the first person to say I hate working out. I needed to work out just to calm my frantic brain down. I worked out, I had a sauna, and now I'm gonna sit down and knit and fill my day with some lovely, lovely knitting. And that's it. I just wanted to give you a quick little update on where we are at. Obviously, Suzanne and I cannot get together and film more episodes at the moment. We don't know when we will or if we will. Filming on my own is not as much fun. Usually Suzanne and I have laughed our heads off. So I apologize that this episode might not be as much fun, but I thought I'd just give you guys an update and let you know where we are and what's at. I hope you all stay safe, stay indoors, take care of each other, and until next time, bye.